Marvel Zombies, Protagonist becomes world's strongest hero. Episode 41, Pocket Dimensional Space, Courtyard. Wonder Woman and Supergirl face each other 20 meters apart, posing in battle. Yi-Bai and other onlookers ate melons and watched the play. After learning from Yi-Bai's mouth that Carla was so strong, Diana couldn't help but itch her hands and wanted to compete with the other party, which was the scene in front of her. Yi-Bai reminded them, "Take your time, don't tear me down here." Diana said that it was no problem, and Kara was a little unconfident, especially when she learned that the person on the other side was the legendary Wonder Woman. But at the same time, the warrior bloodline written into Kara's genes made her extremely excited. As we all know, Kryptonians are bred according to social needs, combined with various talent templates in the gene pool of the Central Treasure book. Kara, she is a warrior template, specializing in combat. She is more talented in combat than the panacea template born of natural childbirth of Superman Clark Kent. The battle begins, and Kara, who has little combat experience, goes to war with Wonder Woman, who is experienced in combat and fully equipped. The speed of the two is extremely fast, and they can't see the shadow of the dynamic vision face. The two people moving at high speed, the sound of the air-breaking sonic boom formed by the friction between the body and the air was very loud, just like the sound formed by a supersonic fighter flying in the sky, which was deafening. In order to protect the safety of his own building, Yi-Bai had to let the Black Phoenix launch an enchantment to envelop the battlefield, lest they tear this place down. The battle in the field continues, and little Supergirl is beaten by Wonder Woman in various ways, but because her body and bones are strong enough, she has not suffered even the slightest injury. Fortunately, Krypton exploded. It's hard to imagine that a race is in existence like Kara, and God has to be scared away when he comes. Natasha looked at Carla in the field and expressed her opinion. The sun of Krypton is red rather than yellow, and on Krypton they are nowhere near as strong as they are on Earth. And Kryptonians are not without weaknesses. Kryptonite can degrade their cells. Bathed in the radiation of kryptonite, they will become more vulnerable than humans. Yi-Bai explained. Kryptonite? Do you have that thing? The Kryptonian wreckage is full of that thing, which belongs to Sector 2813 of the universe, about 210,000 light-years or so according to Earth. Sector? It was the first time Natasha had heard the statement. Yi-Bai gave them popular science. It is divided by the first batch of intelligent life born in this universe, a group of guys who claim to be the guardians of the universe. They take the center of the universe OUA star as the origin, divide the universe into 3,600 sectors, and assign 2 green light fighters in each sector to maintain the order of the universe. Our galaxy is in Sector 2814, Krypton is in Sector 2813, it can be regarded as neighbors. It reminds me of the Nova Legion of Shandar Star. Phantom Cat said. Yi-Bai nodded and said, "It's really the same, it's all about maintaining the peace of the universe." However, in terms of weapons and equipment, the Green Lantern Legion is stronger than the Nova Legion. The Nova Legion uses the Nova Helmet to borrow the Super Life Computer World Mind to obtain power, and the Green Lantern Corps uses the Green Lantern Ring of Will, which can use the power of will and emotion to show anything in your mind out of thin air, guns, fighters, spaceships, and can quickly reach any region of the universe by opening wormholes in space, a small ring, higher than a space battleship. There is a famous saying in the Green Lantern Corps that the power of the ring has no limit, and imagination is the factor that restricts its limit. It is also said that the Green Lantern Ring is one of the most powerful weapons in the universe. Emma listened and was very impressed by this thing. She asked, "Is it possible for us to get the green light ring?" Yi-Bai nodded and shook his head again. "That is a creation of technology combined with emotions. The system of the ring is connected to the main host of the headquarters of the Green Lantern Legion. Even if you get the ring, it is impossible to use it to do bad things. The Green Lantern Ring is a weapon to protect the peace of the universe. If you want to use it to kill, it will refuse to carry out your orders. And the green light ring needs to be charged to use, and the total energy of the green light is also an OUA star, and we don't have the energy to charge it here." When Emma heard this, she gave up the idea of a Green Lantern ring. She wanted a weapon that she could use as she wanted, not something that was restricted. Yi-Bai said again, "But well, I have seen the future of this universe. There is more than one lighting ring technology, and there will be the Green Lantern Tribe, the Sinister Legion, Yellow Light, the Star Bluestone Legion, Purple Light, the Red Lantern Legion, the Orange Lantern Legion, and the Blue Lantern Legion in the future. Different colors represent different emotions. The green light of will is in the center, the left is the negative emotion, the yellow light of fear, the orange light of greed, and the red light of anger. On the right are positive emotions, the blue light of hope, the green light of mercy, and the purple light of love. Among them, the most marginal anger and love are the most difficult to control, and it is easy to make people go to extremes. Such as the purple of love, etc., will magnify all the love in people's hearts. Love can make people crazy, paranoid love symbolizes destruction. And anger, you can refer to the Hulk look. Yi-Bai popularized the Seven Lantern Legion. Natasha raised her forehead. DC Universe, it looks very troublesome. Yi-Bai nodded, "Yes, I have seen the future, in the future, a Justice League will be established on the Earth, and when the Justice League is established, there will be at least one crisis of extinction almost every year, and even most of them will affect the universe and even the entire multiverse. Everyone, so we're here to experience the crisis? Jean Grey said helplessly. It's a crisis, but it's also an opportunity. Only such a dangerous universe can give birth to people like Diana and Kara. That's what I said. Jean nodded in approval. Speaking of which, in the DC universe, there is a place numbered Earth 8, which is interesting. Yi-Bai laughed wickedly. Tell me about it? In the parallel world number Earth 8, there is a world called Angor, which is more like Asgard, and there is a guy who can control lightning called Amanda. On the Earth of that world, there is an American warrior who has the spirit of Captain Rogers. There is a mechanical head there, with Stark-like technological prowess, who likes to fight in high-tech armor. There's a bugman out there that can become as small as a bug. There's a giant blue baby there, which turns into a giant baby when angry. There's a silver witch there, but instead of chaos magic, she uses order magic. There is also a red Yasha there. She is like Black Widow, is a super female agent trained by the secret agency of a certain country. Together, these people formed the Counterattackers Alliance, Yi-Bai introduced with a smile. The crowd listened to God. Episode 42. Yi, are you sure that strange world really exists? Jenny was messy in the wind and complained. Everyone else feels the same, always feeling that it is the malice of the world. I think it's a spoof, but it exists. And there are not only the Avengers Strikers League, but also the G-Men, which resembles the X-Men, the special effects master who looks a lot like Doctor Strange, the Harvok Lord who resembles Doctor Doom, and the Dream Hunter who resembles Dormammu. The crowd continued to wonder about God. While they were making small talk, Diana's battle with Carla finally ended, and Kara Danvers threw in the towel. Although she was not injured, she was very embarrassed. She felt that if she continued to fight, she would lose her clothes. She did not want to run naked, she could only choose to admit defeat. Compared with Kara's embarrassment, Diana seems to be full of spirits, allowing her to play a hearty battle. It is simply refreshing. And it is refreshing to have such an opponent to train with her. Referring to Kara's previous clothes, Yi-Bai activated his alchemy to refine a set out of thin air and handed it to Kara, who took it and went to change clothes in the running room. Diana walked back with a tiger and said to everyone, nice opponent, I am starting to like it here. Yi-Bai rolled his eyes as he looked at the potholed surface left by the previous battle between the two, and he pressed his hands to the ground and launched his alchemy. The matter on the ground decomposes and reorganizes, and in less than a few seconds, it recovers as before. Diana's eyes lit up when she saw this scene. Can she repair the battlefield so easily? Can she often discuss here in the future? If Yi-Bai knew her thoughts, he would definitely complain that she was a battle freak. Should I say, is it worthy of being Amazonian? After changing clothes, Kara came out, and she asked Yi-Bai expectantly, now that I'm also from here, you can help me, right? Are you having trouble? Diana asked her. In view of the previous battle, Diana had taken Kara as a good sister, and when the sister encountered difficulties, Diana would naturally be obligated to help. Well, you took my consciousness back in time before and saw my dead parents, and she said that as long as I join here, she will help me go back and save them. Carla explains. Diana was abrupt, but quickly reacted. She looked at Yi-Bai in horror. Can you still go back in time and save the dead? Wanda and the others also looked at him. If Yi-Bai could do this kind of thing, wouldn't it mean that their dead relatives could be resurrected? Yi-Bai nodded. She looked at the people present, and said, 2 resurrection places per person, designated by yourself. If you have more, I am afraid of causing turmoil in time and space. Everyone looked at each other, excited and hesitant to learn that they could really resurrect the dead. Emma said, my father Winston was an impersonal capitalist, and my mother Hazel learned that my father had cheated and contracted drugs. My brother Kristen tried suicide and went crazy. My sister Claudia is a bad girl. My sister Adrian and I have a relationship comparable to that of enemies. I forget it. There is no one who wants to be resurrected. Everyone. Feelings. This sutra in your house is so difficult to read. Katie said, I have maternal grandparents, mom and dad, and if there are only 2 places, I want you to resurrect my mom Teresa and my dad Carmen. Jean Grey said, I hope to resurrect my parents. When I was a child, there was a war in my hometown. Ivan Petrovich rescued me from the broken and burning house. He was like a friend, a relative, even a father to me. And I wanted to resurrect him, Natasha said. Wanda said, my brother Pietro, I missed him. Diana also said, I hope to resurrect Antiope. Yi-Bai looked at them and said, you don't want them to be in danger after they are resurrected. I can find them a parallel world of the Earth that will be peaceful for hundreds of years in the future, and let them live there. Naturally, everyone had no opinion. So, next into the Great Resurrection time, Yi-Bai took everyone's consciousness across time and space, transferring all the people who should have died in history at the moment before their deaths, and leaving a corpse of their alchemy puppet in place to keep history unchanged. It is worth mentioning that on the day of the Krypton explosion, Kara's parents did not die. Zol used the evil artificial intelligence Brainiac's bottle city technology to shrink an entire city into a bottle, the explosion lifted the bottle into the universe, and the city began to have kryptonite radiation dust, and all the people who were shrunk lived in deep water and could hang up at any time. Finally, Yi-Bai teleported the resurrected person to a parallel world of the Earth without the slightest supernatural power and no war in the next 200 years. And finally bound the coordinates of the Earth of this world to the privileged ring of everyone. After doing all this, everyone's consciousness returns to the body. Without saying a word, everyone went to that world through the newly appeared coordinates in the ring, explaining the situation to the resurrected relatives. Even Agnes was taken away by Wanda to meet her uncle Pietro. At the scene, only Yi-Bai and Emma, the White Queen, who had no relatives, resurrected. Why not resurrect your family? Even if you don't resurrect them, you should have friends, right? Yi-Bai was very strange about this. Maybe there used to be, but from the day I did anything to chase profit, my friends were a luxury for me. Pass, let it pass. What can we do while there is no one right now? Emma stepped forward, wrapped her arms around Yi-Bai's neck, and kissed her. Not long after, they returned to the castle bedroom. 2 hours later, the two left the pocket space together and came to the outside world of DC Earth Midvale Town Park. It was getting dark. The two wander around this quiet and peaceful town. Yi, I found an interesting thing. What's going on? Near the high school in this town, there is a laboratory built underground, and I see something from the memory of the laboratory staff. The laboratory belongs to the Luther group, and there is a Kryptonian like Kara who is studied by the staff there. Emma said what her mind perceived. Tanoon? Yi-Bai thought of the comic of Supergirl. When Supergirl was still in high school in Midvale, there was indeed an unlucky egg named Tanoon who was studied. One day when Carla was in school, there was an explosion in the lab, cracking a crack in the playground, and Carla's best friend fell to his death. Tan, it's indeed the name of that Kryptonian. Episode 43. Tan-En, a Kryptonian, is a scientist who came to explore this side of the Earth more than 40 years ago, but the result was bad luck. Just arrived on the Earth, was discovered by the previous generation of the Luther group's head and sent people to catch it, and has been locked up in a small black room until now. Yi-Bai knows this Kryptonian. Supergirl's origin comic Supergirl Transcendent Road, which tells the story of Supergirl in Midvale Town when she was in high school, and Tannen is the unlucky Kryptonian in the story. However, this Kryptonian should have been studied by the Earthlings for decades, and there is only endless hatred for the Earthlings. Even if he was rescued by Kara in the original story, he did not give up hatred, but became a supervillain. Now that he knew this, in order to reduce trouble, he simply said to Emma, "Can your ability kill people? You're going to kill him? Just look at his heart." Emma's psychic ability rushed to the head of the unlucky Kryptonian Tan-En in the laboratory, read his mind, and nodded. Is it okay to let him become a vegetative person? Emma is an egoist, and it seems natural to discuss how to kill people with Yi-Bai. Just like discussing what to eat for dinner tonight, there is no psychological barrier at all. This has to be replaced by Diana and Kara. Yi-Bai has to discuss this kind of thing with them and keep the favorability. While Yi-Bai and Emma were hanging out, another world, let's call it the peace world. In a peaceful world, the women meet their resurrected relatives and explain to them what happened. The resurrected people were a little confused when they learned that they had been resurrected and that so many years had passed. Kara dragged her parents around the new world, telling them about her experiences over the years of coming to Earth. Wanda introduces her daughter Agnes to her brother Quicksilver, and also tells her about what happened during this time, as well as her husband Yi-Bai. Natasha did not see Ivan, she just silently observed for a while, the confused person who was resurrected to the new world. Diana was with Antiope, talking about her own experience in nearly 100 years. Katie and her parents, Aurora and her parents, everyone is accompanying their relatives. A day later, everyone returned, and everyone sat together and sighed. After that, Yi-Bai also made a stand-in for Kara and Diana, and their stand-ins returned to the outside world and lived their original lives. And their essence chose to stay in this magical place. Yi-Bai leaves Midvale Town and returns to Midtown. 5 months passed on a peaceful life. During this time, Yi-Bai lived here in Midtown, studied and analyzed various runes of Olympus enchantment technology, and returned to the pocket dimension space at night to rest. After such a long time, each roll of the enchanted rune and different combination rules have basically been thoroughly eaten, and it is already possible to make different styles of artifacts, and he has helped everyone in the family tailor a set of equipment. However, they gave their equipment to their stand-ins, and they would not encounter danger at all when they stayed in the pocket dimension, and wearing equipment was a waste. As a person who can see the past and the future, Yi-Bai is like an omniscient, knowing the time of various events. Now, there's a big DC event about to happen. The story of Green Lantern is about to begin, and on this evening, Green Lantern Aubin Su of Sector 2814 will be seriously injured and fall to the earth. Yi-Bai wanted to see if he could cut off the Green Lantern ring, although he couldn't see the ability of the lantern ring, but he wanted the technique of the ring itself. It comes with a system that can translate all the languages of the universe, including all countries on the Earth, and is also connected to the huge database of OUA Star, which can identify most things in this universe. At the same time, it can also carry out interstellar communication, record what it imagines into it, and call the database to directly manifest it through emotions when needed. What is it? This is the Ring version of the portable system. Proper system flow Protagonist plugin. Such technology makes no sense not to get it. According to Yibai's idea, it can completely use the technology of the lamp ring to transform the Philosopher's Stone into a high-tech combination with the Philosopher's Stone that even people who do not know alchemy can use. If the idea succeeds, then the person wearing the Sage Ring can directly call up the drawings recorded in advance from the ring system and get the required information out of thin air. However, in order to get this technology, it may be difficult to directly crack the lamp ring. There should be encryption and insurance measures on that thing, and the best way is to go directly to waxing. There is a lot of scientific and technological knowledge to learn, and you can't see Abensu secretly set up the Green Lantern tribe to create the lamp staff. Talsinisto can also make yellow light rings with the Yellow Lantern Beast Parallax monster, and their technique is learned from the OUA Star database. With an idea, it is natural to put it into practice. The Green Lantern ring will automatically choose the person with the strongest willpower to become the host, and Yibai has to find a way to strengthen his willpower. This kind of thing is not easy for ordinary people to do, but Yibai is not very difficult to do. He shares Emma's psychic ability and uses it to constantly strengthen his courage and will, strengthening it to a very exaggerated level. At this moment, there are few people on Earth who can compare with his will. What needs to be done now is to get as close as possible to the place where Abensu fell, and when the opponent's green light ring begins to screen the host, he will have a better chance of being selected. Just as Yibai was about to leave for Seaside City, California, a new system mission was triggered. You triggered a new task. Mission: I am a man who can wholesale portable system plugins. Introduction: the technology of the lamp ring is also the technology of the portable system. Requirements: go to OUA Star to obtain the lighting ring making technology. Reward: at stand level +1. Episode 44. Seaside City, in the DC series of stories, is the hometown of Green Lantern Hal Jordan. According to the original trajectory of time and space, after Hal Jordan became Green Lantern, the city began to become calamitous. Living in this city, you have to have a fearless heart of courage. It is also because of this that the city has the title of Fearless City in the future. Parallax comes, aliens invade, and Green Lantern invites his alien companions to come here as guests, and then attract more trouble. From this point of view, it seems that Green Lantern is the source of the unrest in Seaside City. If you don't believe it, the Green Lantern didn't appear now. How harmonious the city is. Yibai refracted the light through the stand and became invisible and dragged himself in the direction of California. In the past, the stance of LV1 could drag him to fly at a speed of 70 km per hour, but now the stance level reaches LV3, the maximum expandable area reaches 1,000 square meters, and the speed of flying with it has been greatly improved, and it can be used more diversified. Deflecting light invisibility is a new usage, developed by Yibai. At this time, Yibai was flying at Mach 3 per hour, and it didn't take long to fly to the outskirts of California, near the Seaside City. He suddenly noticed something, stopped moving forward and floated in the air, looking down. In the wild forest in the mountains, there are a few guys who don't look like good people at first glance, and they drag a corpse and seem to intend to bury it. Not far from this group of guys, there are 4 young girls camping, playing hunting games with bows and arrows, hunting hares, and so on. Yibai used Emma's psychic ability to sweep into the heads of this group of young people, and accidentally found that there was a female character in the Green Lantern story. Don't get me wrong, she's not Hal Jordan's childhood sweetheart, Carol Phyllis, but Jessica Cruz, who will become Green Lantern in the future. She has long black hair, her figure is a highlight, she looks good, she just graduated from college not long ago, and she has not yet officially worked. While Yibai observed them from above, Jessica Cruz and her friends found that the criminals were burying their bodies, and the criminals also found them. Not surprisingly, the criminals raised their intention to kill people. Generally speaking, Yibai will not take the initiative to act as a superhero to save people, but since he encounters it, he doesn't mind helping with it. At the moment when the criminals raised their guns and aimed at the terrified Jessica and the others, Yibai, who was dismissed from his invisible state, fell from the sky and landed among the criminals, and the alchemical light of his hands flickered, creating ropes that tied the criminals into rice dumplings. The bound criminals stood unsteadily and fell to the ground. The light in Yibai's hand flashed again, a baseball bat appeared, brandished it, and knocked several criminals unconscious on the heads. Not far away, Jessica and her friends were already stunned. I thought they were going to die, but a hero came down from the sky to save them. I am afraid that I will never forget this experience of surviving death. Ladies, you can call the police. Yibai threw the baseball bat in his hand aside and opened his mouth to remind them in a daze. When they heard Yibai's words, they nodded dumbly, and Jessica took out her mobile phone and called the police directly. Next to her, there was a tall woman with a relatively big boldness, and cautiously asked Yibai, "Excuse me, are you a superhero? Yi-bai held his head high and admitted very shamefully, yes, that's right, that's it. At this time, these beauties all gathered around excitedly, and kept asking the east and the west, what is your name, is that superpower just now, what is your code name and so on, asked a lot. These 4 women are friends they met in college, originally they were camping here plus hunting and vacationing, who knew that if there was no Yi-bai falling from the sky, I am afraid that it would be fierce. Yi-bai remembers the origin story of Jessica Cruz, that is, from a camping 3 years ago, she and her friends witnessed the burial site of criminals, brutally murdered, only Jessica escaped alone, and then replaced with anxiety plus autism, hiding at home for 3 years without going out, until the eternal start of the big event Eternity. The divine power ring of Earth 3 found her and controlled her to wreak havoc in the city. It was Batman who inspired her, allowed her to regain control, and ended the destruction of the city. After that, Jessica goes to Batman's Watchtower space base, where she loses control twice and is controlled by the ring again. This time the Flash encourages Jessica to overcome fear again. From that day on, she decided to learn how to use the divine power ring, eventually becoming a superhero and joining the Justice League. Although, after the restart of the New 52, Jessica was unlucky to be controlled out of control by the ring during the Darkseid War, and her consciousness was sent to the inside of the ring. If it were not for the help of cyborgs, she would have made a big mistake. After that, she was selected by a Green Lantern ring and officially joined the Green Lantern Corps and became a Green Lantern woman. All in all, this is the story of a heroine who constantly overcomes her inner fears and eventually becomes a superhero. Yi-bai felt that maybe he should change his mind and let Jessica become the Green Lantern, while he hid behind the scenes and became a grandfather with him. In this way, while achieving the goal, you don't have to fulfill the obligations after joining the Green Lantern Corps. How good. Having made a decision, Yi-bai immediately said to Jessica Cruz, one of the 4 girls, Miss Cruz, you are related to me. Are you interested in inheriting my mantle and becoming a superhero? Episode 45. Half an hour later, the police car came and pressed the criminals, who were tied into rice dumplings, into the police car. The body, which should have been buried, was also taken back by the police. Jessica and her friends naturally had to follow back to take notes. Yi-bai was troublesome, and her early stealth was not seen by the police. When the girlfriend foursome finished taking notes and came out of the police station, it was already 2 o'clock in the afternoon of the same day. When that happened, they were no longer in the mood to camp, but went to a nearby cafe for afternoon tea and talked about what had happened before. Not everyone has the opportunity to meet superheroes with superpowers, so they basically talk about Yi-bai. Yi-bai walked into the cafe at this time, sat down in the vacant seat next to the 4 people, smiled at them a gentleman, and greeted, "Hey, ladies, don't mind if I sit here." Jessica complained, "You've already sat down." A friend of Jessica asked Yi-bai, "You said before that you want Jessie to inherit your mantle and become a superhero? Can superpowers still be taught to others? How do you look at me? Can you learn it?" Yi-bai shook his head and ran the train with his mouth full. This requires qualifications. Just like in the Harry Potter story, someone can learn magic, but someone is just a muggle. Of the 4 of you, only Jessica can learn my abilities. Jessica's friends were disappointed. Jessica pointed to herself and asked, "Can I really do that? I mean, I can learn your superpowers of changing rope and baseball bats? It's not just that kind of thing that can become." Yi-bai palmed his hand, a yellow rose conjured, its flower language is eternal smile, confident and kind. He handed it to Jessica. "No, send you." The girl is very familiar with the flower language. Seeing that Yi-bai gave yellow rose flowers, Jessica showed a faint smile, took it and thanked it. "Thank you for the flower, I like it very much." Yi-bai stretched out his hand to her and said, "Let's go. The next is teaching time." Jessica put her hand on the hand of the lifesaver. Under the surprised gazes of her 3 girlfriends, the figures of the 2 holding hands slowly faded and gradually disappeared without a trace. On the side of the uninhabited beach on the outskirts of Seaside City, Yi-bai took Jessica Cruz and teleported here. Jessica found that the 2 of them actually arrived at the coast outside the city in an instant. Her eyes widened incredulously. It was unbelievable that Ji actually had such ability. In her opinion, the superpower itself is very legendary, but she did not expect that the other party had more than one ability. "Can I learn this ability myself?" She began to look forward to it. "In order for you to get something, I will possess you and strengthen your will and courage. You have to remember that no matter what comes your way, don't fuss or mention my existence to anyone, understand? Possessed? What do you mean?" She was a little puzzled. Yi-bai smiled and did not explain, and directly activated the ability. With the power of the phoenix, Yi-bai's body burned with flames, and under Jessica's shocked gaze, he suddenly self-demolated into ashes, at least it seemed. In fact, he is temporarily transforming himself into a soul state. This is one of Jean Grey's abilities, which is very similar to the mage's astral projection, except that when the mage uses this move, it is only the soul leaving the body, but Jean Grey can completely transform herself into this form. In this state, it is invisible and untouchable, does not require breathing, eating, or sleeping, and is not affected by the laws of physics, while retaining all conscious thoughts. Yi Bai, who borrowed her ability, naturally could also use this move. Transformed into a soul state, he possessed Jessica and appeared in the depths of his spiritual world. In this case, even the most high-tech testing equipment is difficult to detect his existence. Jessica looked at Yi Bai, who turned into ash, and for a moment did not know how to react, at a loss. But soon, Jessica noticed that she seemed to be different. What she did not dare to do in the past, she feels that she dares to do now, even in the face of death, as long as it is meaningful. She can also take firm steps towards the embrace of death. Yi Bai's voice sounded in her heart. At dusk today, there will be aliens coming to Earth. His weapon will find a new owner. Only those who are strong enough in willpower and courage will be selected by that weapon. I hope that person is you. Outside, aliens? Are there really aliens? Jessica was stunned. She thought she was going to learn superpowers with the other party, but she ended up getting alien technology? This is too sci-fi, right? And you possessed her own body, which also made her creepy, feeling like being possessed by demons as often said in the story. Yes, in the universe, there is an organization called the Green Lantern Corps, and their founders divide the universe into 3,600 sectors, each of which will have 1 or 2 Green Lanterns responsible for policing. The region where our galaxy is located is Sector 2814. Jessica, I don't hide from you. I need to get some of their technology through you, and you can become the Green Lantern who soars freely in the universe and maintains the peace of the universe. Yi Bai did not hide his purpose, directly said it. Sometimes it is easier to achieve the goal by being honest, especially when Yi Bai is still Jessica's lifesaver. The other party will probably not refuse to help him. Just as Yi Bai thought, Jessica only hesitated slightly, then nodded and agreed. Although she still doesn't believe much in the existence of aliens, it doesn't prevent her from fantasizing about traveling the universe and maintaining world peace. And that picture makes her very excited just thinking about it. Jessica sat down on a reef on the shore and chatted with Yi Bai in her mind about messy things, mostly about aliens. Time passes, gradually dusk. Abin Su, who was seriously injured and dying, piloted a spherical shuttle and crashed to the shore on the outskirts of Seaside City, less than a kilometer from where Jessica was. Seeing this thing, Jessica was very uncalm in her heart. Really, there are actually aliens? Yi Bai reminded in her heart. What are you doing stunned? Hurry over. Oh. Jessica, who returned to her senses, ran to the place where the ship fell, with apprehension and anticipation. Here, she saw a small spherical spaceship, and through the glass cover of the spacecraft, she saw a purple-skinned male alien in a green uniform with a strong body, and at the man's chest, there was a huge penetrating wound, bulging purple blood. Jessica is a kind girl, although she is facing aliens of the legendary species. But since the other party is a superhero who maintains the peace of the universe, she has no fear of facing aliens. She dragged the seriously injured counterpart from the shuttle. Episode 46. Through the green light ring, the alien Abin Su detected the justice and kindness in Jessica's heart, as well as strong will and courage, and knew that he did not have to worry about the inheritance of the mantle. The girl in front of him is the heir he is looking for when he dies. My name is Abin Su, child. You are a courageous person. Leave me alone. My injuries are too bad. I can't be saved. He took off his ring, handed it to Jessica, and said to her, take it, put it on. There is a lantern in the spaceship, an oath on the lantern, recite it. After speaking, he died in his breath. Jessica, don't waste time. The government has detected the abnormality here. Go to the spaceship and get the lantern. We should go. Yi Bai reminded in Jessica's mind. But, what about it? Jessica asked, pointing to Abin Su's body. I'll take him. Jessica suddenly found that a diffuse light shot out from her eyes, shrouding Abin Su's body, and the other party's body slowly disappeared. The reason why the corpse was taken away was to prevent the parallax demon from running to Earth following the yellow light fear energy contaminated in Abin Su's body. That kind of trouble is still not to lead to the troubled Earth. Abin Su was collected by Yi Bai, and Jessica ran to Abin Su's spaceship to search, and soon found something that emitted green light like a lantern. After taking it, Jessica was teleported away by Yi Bai and returned to a certain park in Seaside City. At this time, it was completely dark, and because of the meal, there were not many people in this part of the park. Yi Bai said to Jessica, put on the lamp ring and read it with me. Oh. Jessica obediently responded, put the green light ring on the index finger of her right hand, followed Yi Bai's voice in her mind, and began to chant. The day is clear, the night is dark, there is nothing to hide, the infidels are chaotic and fearful of the light. Green light is everlasting, the light of all worlds. With the recitation of the Green Lantern Oath, Jessica and Abin Su's Green Lantern ring were successfully bound. At the same moment, the Green Lantern ring emits a sound that seems to be a mechanical synthesis. Intelligent life is locked. Jessica Cruz from Galactic Earth, you have a strong will to overcome fear. Welcome to the Green Lantern Corps. Her clothes, in a burst of green light, were replaced by a tight green blouse and black trouser uniform. This uniform perfectly outlines her future figure. Yi Bai admired it very much. When he read comics in his last life, he felt that Jessica Cruz was in great shape, and now possessed her. this feeling is particularly obvious. Jessica looked at her new outfit curiously and marveled at the magic of the ring. The ring sent some information to her mind, allowing her to understand the function of the lamp ring emotional manifestation. This is one of the lantern ring technologies that allows the holder to naturally know what they want to know as long as it is recorded in the OUASing host data. Yibai did not disturb Jessica, just watched her constantly try to use the green light ring, showing all kinds of things in her imagination, such as all kinds of beautiful clothes, jewelry, bags, shoes. Seeing her manifest these, Yibai was speechless for a while. The lamp ring is such a powerful weapon. She actually only uses it to dress herself? It's just amazing, Yi. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. At this time, Jessica was very excited. She was so excited to get such magical alien technology. She was excited to jump. You can adapt to your new abilities first, say goodbye to your friends and family, and then it's time to leave for the Green Lantern Corps headquarters, which is located in the center of the universe. There is a planet called OUA, where you need to report and train. Yibai said, really going to an alien planet? Is it okay not to go? Thanks to the Hollywood movies' description of various aliens, Jessica always has some bad associations when she thinks of aliens, and she is afraid that she will be taken away by aliens when she leaves the Earth, which is how it is played in the movie. The ring on your finger is one of the most powerful weapons in the universe. Its technical content is higher than the starship in science fiction movies, and once you really learn how to use it, there are not many people in the universe who can take you away and slice you. Yibai saw her thoughts and said helplessly, can you see my thoughts? I am in your spiritual world, your thoughts, your memories, everything about you, all of you, I all know Dao. Yibai said wickedly. Jessica blushed. The other party could see her memory. Didn't she also know her various embarrassments? So shy. I really want to find a ground sewing drill. Okay, don't be shy. I won't tell your little secret. You have to swear. Well, I swear, it'll always work. Now you don't use your mouth to communicate with me. Just think directly in your head. Oh, okay. Jessica said in her head. Next, the excited Jessica called her 3 girlfriends and performed an emotional manifestation in front of them, making her girlfriends envious. With the low-key teaching of Yibai, the teacher, when Jessica performed her ability, she did not say that it was the ring ability, but only said that she learned it from Yibai, so her girlfriend did not think that her ability was given by a ring. There should always be some defensive hearts, lest people steal the ring when they see that they are rich. She and her girlfriends played until 10 o'clock in the evening before they went back to their respective homes. Jessica does not live with her parents, but lives alone on the seaside city side. Originally, I was still looking for a job, but I never found it before I camped with my girlfriends. Now that she has a light ring, she doesn't have to think about finding a job, and her current job is like all Green Lanterns, maintaining peace in the universe, which is her new job that she is about to embark on. Of course, before that, she had to go to waxing for formal training to get on the job. Jessica, who returned home, put the energized lantern and the ring on her hand on the table, and walked to the bathroom, ready to take a shower. But she suddenly realized the question, there is a person in her body, can he see himself? If you go to the bath yourself, won't you be seen? I'm going to take a shower, you can't see me, can you? I can see all your memories. Naturally connect your 5 senses, see what you see, hear what you hear. There will be no one in the world who knows you better than I do, and you don't need to be shy. What Yibai said seems to make sense, but the wolf ambition is obvious. But, I can be your boyfriend reluctantly, now you can rest assured. Yibai began to lose face again, and after saying that, she drilled out of Jessica's body and pulled the other party in. The next day, Jessica woke up. Yibai said with a smile, it's time to get up. Today we set off for the Sea of Stars. Believe me, this will be an unforgettable journey for you. Jessica blushed shyly and nodded. Getting dressed and getting up to wash, Jessica cooked a sumptuous meal for Yibai. Episode 47. After breakfast, Yibai reformed into Jessica's portable grandfather. Jessica has changed into her green light uniform and is ready to go. Under Yibai's guidance, she gave the Green Lantern ring the order to return to the Green Lantern Corps base camp. The green light wrapped her and carried her out of her window, and in less than a minute, she flew out of the embrace of Mother Earth's atmosphere and tore a space wormhole in the cosmic vacuum, and the green light dragged Jessica into it. In a strange light like passing through a time tunnel, Jessica appeared far, far away from the Earth, far away from the current spacecraft built by Earth technology, which can never reach. Here is the center of the universe. In front of Jessica, there is a green planet much smaller than the Earth and a little larger than the Moon. It is the star OUA. It is here that the Guardians of the Universe divide the universe into 3,600 sectors. Jessica's eyes widened, looking at the planet that was getting closer and closer, and her heart was both nervous and excited. The thought in her mind was, is this really an alien planet? Am I dreaming? I must be dreaming, right? I actually came to an alien planet where aliens live in legend. The green light dragged her, and soon flew into the atmosphere of OUA star, flying into the Green Lantern Corps recruits to report to the place. Here, a device sends a green traction beam at her, dragging Jessica Cruz into it. This detection equipment, which is very black technology at first glance, detects her physical data, including physical fitness and strength, race, evolution, and intelligence level, and various data are detected one by one and recorded in the waxing green light host database. In the process, Yibai hid in the deepest part of Jessica's mind, and he was worried that the device would detect his presence. Although Yibai has confidence in the power of the Phoenix, God knows if this device is the kind of psychic black technology. In short, it is always right to be careful. The test ended quickly, and it did not detect the presence of Cypress. The traction light gradually dimmed, and Jessica slowly descended in midair. Not far away, a humanoid creature with a yellow bird head and a green uniform walked by. "Welcome to Oua Xing, I am Tamar. The ring on your hand is from Aben Su. He is my friend, but unfortunately he died in the mission. I think you should have met him." Thomas Ray spoke an alien language. Jessica can understand what the other person is saying through the translation function of the green light ring. In her mind, Yibai said, "Jessie, Yibai's nickname for Jessica, you make a gesture on the ground, pretend to release magic yourself, and I will release Aben Su's body to gain the favor of aliens, which will help you here." After Jessica listened, she waved her hand to the ground. As she waved her hand, a dark red light began to flicker above the ground, and Aben Su's body appeared on the ground in a flash. "I brought his body back, and I am sorry for his death," Jessica said. Jessica brought Aben Su's body back, making Thomas Ray's favorability for Jessica instantly jump, and he used the lamp ring to inform the relevant people about it. Not long after, a large group of aliens came here. There are Aben Su's son Amon Su, daughter Arlene Su, brother-in-law Tal Sinisto, and niece Solanik Natu. A large family of children came, among them Sinisto, a red-skinned mustache man. He is one of the 3 popular villains in DC. In the original Time and Space, he and Hal Jordan fell in love and killed, and also often cooperated. The two are both friends and enemies. At the same time, Sinisto is also the boss of the future Sinisto Legion, Yellow Lantern Legion. Of course, during this time, Sinisto was not exiled by the Guardians of the Universe and was still a member of the Green Lantern Legion. After the death of Aben Su, who holds the title of the greatest Green Lantern, he may be the strongest Green Lantern in the entire Green Lantern Corps. The group of them are very grateful to Jessica for bringing back Aben Su's body. Even Sinisto, who looks down on such a low-level intelligent creature as a human being, rarely squeezes a smile on Jessica's face. For Sinisto, he was not only Aben Su's brother-in-law, but also Aben Su's friend, student, and best friend. Seeing so many living aliens, Jessica was nervous. But seeing that these aliens seemed to get along very well, her nervous heart was slightly settled. It seems that aliens are not as scary as they think. Not long after, Sinisto and the others left here with Aben Su's body. Thomas Ray takes Jessica and begins to visit the planet called Oua, introducing her to the purpose of the Green Lantern Corps, as well as the Guardians of the Universe, and the latest anecdotes about the various sectors of the universe. Thanks to the death of the greatest Green Lantern and the call of Sinisto, the Green Lantern of the whole universe has basically been an OUA star in recent days, and the current OUA star is very lively. Along the way, Jessica saw all kinds of aliens, which was really eye-opening. It wasn't long before she was taken by Thomas Ray to Kiravog, a recruit training instructor. Kiravog, a purple-skinned humanoid man, stared at the rookie lantern Jessica, and the first thing he said was, "Waste, today I will teach you the first lesson as a Green Lantern, the course is." Jessica was still ready to listen to his words later. Suddenly, he launched a sneak attack on Jessica. A green hammer appeared, and Jessica, who did not react, flew more than 20 meters away with a hammer, and then continued. It is to be on guard at all times, and not to let others have the opportunity to sneak up on you. Jessica was scolded by this meeting and sneaked up on her guy and smashed her dizzy. It took her a while to stand up. Jessica was kind, but also angry, and she glared angrily at the bastard on the other side. Yibai said in her mind, "Relax, leave it to me to control your body, and see how I beat it." Good. Jessica's body was taken over by Yibai. She moved, opened her mouth and said to Kiravog, "Your teaching is really different." He was halfway through his words, and before he finished speaking, he also launched a sneak attack, only to see a flash of green light above Kiravog's head, and a solid iron ball appeared out of thin air, free-falling and smashed into Kiravog below. Kiravog dodged and dodged, but Jessica's attack was not over, and he saw that the iron ball exploded on the spot the moment it landed, and the metal iron piece of the skin was thrown out by the impact of the explosion and shot in all directions. Kiravog scrambled to dodge the defenses. Yibai controlled Jessica's body to continue the combo. The green light of the will and emotional energy wrapped himself, dragged himself to accelerate forward, and the person turned into a green afterimage, bullying the other party's side. A green light knife condensed in Jessica's hand. The blade body was attached to the phoenix flame, and the knife was pulled out and slashed out. The phoenix flame burned nothing, and the possessed knife body was cut without chopping, instantly cutting the defensive shield in front of Kiravog, and the blade was on the opponent's neck. Accepted. Jessica took the knife and jumped, did a backflip in the air, and landed 10 meters away. Kiravog was educated to doubt the life of life, and onlookers were stunned by the party alien old good Tomare. "Yi, you're simply cool," Jessica said excitedly in her heart. "Look well, study hard, and you will be strong in the future." Yibai encouraged the other party in his heart and returned control of Jessica's body to her. "You. Good sense of battle." Kiravog no longer calls Jessica a waste. The other party has fully proved to himself the ability to learn. The front foot has just been taught, the back foot is learning to use. This Nima makes him a teacher very embarrassed. Helpless, Kiravog began to teach her seriously. Every Green Lantern will use a Green Lantern ring to produce a variety of effects, purely maintained by the wearer's imagination and willpower. The stronger the user's willpower, the greater the effectiveness of the ring. The limit of the power ring can exert is still unknown. It is the most powerful weapon in the universe. As long as it is any object that the user can imagine, the ring has the ability to bring it to life. But every weapon has weaknesses, and for the Green Lantern ring, its weakness is the Green Lantern itself. Your cowardice, your withdrawal will be the weakness of becoming the Green Lantern ring. Episode 48. Because the Parallax Demon did not invade Earth, Jessica did not have to learn about this like Hal Jordan of the original Time and Space and ran back to Earth. As a rookie recruit who has just joined the army and has not yet received training, she is not needed to fight the Parallax Devil. Tal Sinisto will lead the team to fight the Parallax Demon and bring back the Yellow Lantern Beast Parallax Monster. Here to talk about the difference between the Parallax Demon and the Parallax Monster. The Parallax Demon is the guardian little blue man fused with the Parallax Monster formed by the monster, and the Parallax Monster is the Yellow Light Beast. The emotional spectrum of the 7 lamps has corresponding lamp beasts: green light Ion Shark, red light Blood Slaughter, orange light Python, yellow light Parallax Monster, blue light Phoenix, green lantern Convertible Moth, purple lantern Marauder. Even the special white light and black light have a lamp beast, the spirit of white light existence, and the black light Black Death Emperor. By the way, the white light and the black light symbolize not emotions, but the embodiment of the concept of life and death. The white light is life, and the black light is death. Ahem, the topic is far away. All in all, Jessica Cruz began her training at OUA Star for her recruits in OUA Moon. During her training, Sinisto leads the Green Lantern Corps out of OUA Star to find the Parallax Demon out of nowhere. He leads many Green Lanterns, facing each other with hard steel. At the cost of heavy casualties, they finally killed each other and captured the Yellow Lantern Beast Parallax Monster. These days, Sinisto is trying to convince the Guardians of the Universe to use the power of fear to create a ring of lights that use fear as an emotion. Judging from Sinisto's behavior, he is actually a scholar, otherwise he would not understand that the lamp ring can be made with other emotions. The Guardians were vague about this, did not refuse, and did not agree. Whether using the negative emotion of fear to make a lamp ring will help the universe needs to be discussed by the Guardians. During these days of training in Jessica, Yibai would occasionally borrow her body and come to the OUA Star Green Light Host database to download knowledge. The lantern ring technique was not hidden by the Guardians, so it was placed in the database, but such a technique is very profound. Even if Yibai studies and digests hard, he can't finish learning it in dozens of days. Time passed, a month passed. Jessica graduated with honors from Kiravog in 1 month of training and successfully took over the policing of Sector 2814. After this month of study, Yibai basically digested the lamp ring technique, and it was also today. His task prompt was completed. You completed the task. I'm a man who can wholesale portable system plugins, and the at stance level has been raised to LV4. 10,000 square meters extension. During her month here, Jessica made several friends, such as Thomas Ray, Kiravog, and Ariza. Among them, Aretha is a female Green Lantern, and like Tamara of Sector 2813, she is a neighbor to Sector 2814, where the Earth is located. Aretha is from the planet Graxos 4, Picture 4, in Sector 2815, and her race resembles the pointy-eared elves of Earth's legend. Arisha looks beautiful and moving, and her body is a hot mess. Just this look, put on the Earth properly, will be revered as a goddess by licking dogs. However, her appearance is a little younger, and she looks only equivalent to a human 14 or 15 years old. However, her age, measured in Earth time, is now 250 years old. Yibai remembers that in the comics, Aretha, Kiravog and others settled on Earth after the crisis on Infinite Earths, and also established a Green Lantern Corps office on Earth. Jessica and Arisa have a good relationship, because their appearance is very similar to other aliens, and they are both female lanterns, so they have a lot of common topics to talk about. When Jessica was about to leave OUA Star, she also invited her new friend Aretha to be a guest on Earth when she was free, and the latter also promised to come down, saying that she would visit the Milky Way Earth in Sector 2814 when she had time. The way to leave OUA Star and return to Earth, Jessica did not open a wormhole, but embodied a small spaceship and wanted to experience the feeling of space travel. Leaving OUA, Yibai did not continue to hide, drilling out of Jessica's spiritual world and reuniting his body in the material world. Jessica saw her boyfriend come out, threw herself into his arms, and then they played a couple game for 2 hours. After the game, Yibai walked to the side of the spaceship and took out the Philosopher's Stone to start the cottage lantern ring. Jessica was curious and bored after watching for a while, and simply used the lamp ring communication function to let the current spaceship connect with Arisa, a friend of the elves, and video chat with him to pass the time. Through the video, Arisha saw Yibai behind Jessica and quipped, "Jessica, he is your spouse. Take your spouse to play in space, you know how to be romantic. Actually, he's very powerful." "Really? How long can it be?" Apparently Aretha misunderstood what Jessica was trying to say. Jessica was stunned, and quickly realized that the other party had misunderstood, and hurriedly said, "Although he is indeed very good in that aspect, I am not talking about this." Arisha showed an ambiguous and ridiculous look. "You don't need to explain, I understand." "Jessica, Yibai." Yibai listened to the black lines, simply changed places, hid in a place where the communication camera could not capture, and continued to engage in its sage ring. His act of avoiding the camera made Aretha tease Jessica for a while. 2 hours passed, and Yibai's first sage ring was finally successfully made. "Let's make a property card to introduce this thing." Name, the Ring of the Sages. Appearance, silver white ring. Structure, Amazon metal as the main body, enchanted with space runes, containing a cubic meter of space, used to store database records and store the Philosopher's Stone, which acts as an energy source. The ring itself has all the functions of the light ring built in a technological way. Functions: optic nerve simulation system interface, neural connection, language translation, data query, item identification, data recording, emitting focused beams, creating objects out of thin air. On Jessica's side, after chatting with her elf friend, she hung up the video communication. She saw Yibai make a silver white ring, walked over and asked curiously, "Is this something you imitated with the lamp ring technique?" "Almost. I'll call her the Ring of the Sage. You bring it and try it." Yibai handed the newly made sage ring to Jessica. The ring made Jessica's cheeks flush a little, but she took it anyway and put it on her left ring finger. Wearing this position is very delicate. "Yibai, huh?" Jessica was surprised to find that the moment she wore this ring, she actually saw a system interface that seemed to be only visible to herself, and this interface, she looked at the feeling very familiar. Think carefully, "Oh, isn't this a Windows system interface? This is?" She asked Yibai curiously. "The portable system function, through which you can listen to songs, watch movies, and play games on the internet," Yibai proudly introduced. As soon as Jessica heard it, her eyes lit up. She used her own brainwaves, various operations in the system. As an Earthling, she naturally used the Windows operating system, and there was no obstacle to using it. Soon, Jessica also discovered the other features of the Sage Ring, which are basically similar to the Green Lantern Ring. But in terms of embodiment, it seems to be a real creation, rather than a temporary manifestation of emotional energy. The unbelieving Jessica used it to manifest a flower. This is a creation out of thin air?" She was shocked. Episode 49. Seeing with his own eyes that her boyfriend Yibai was here without tools and external forces, and it only took a few hours to tinker with equipment more powerful than the lamp ring, Jessica no longer knew what to say. After a month of recruit training in waxing, Jessica now knows how high the technical content of the lantern ring is. Although it is not exactly a technological creation, but it is not the kind that can be copied casually. The prerequisite for making a lamp ring, you must have at least one lamp beast and total emotional energy. Without these two prerequisites, even if you have the production technology of the lamp ring, you can't make the light ring. Yibai, who is named the Sage Ring, has a good function. It is not manifested, but directly created out of thin air, and what is manifested will exist forever. What does this mean? Jessica used this ring to appear out of thin air, a fist-sized diamond, and muttered, "Rich." Yibai, what is in this girl's head? Such a wonderful thing she actually uses to do this. I saw that the girl smiled and narrowed her eyes, and at first glance she looked a little rich and confused, and she said to Yibai, "Is it good to give me this ring?" "Well, you take it, just take it as a token of love," Yibai said with a smile. "You're so nice." The sister paper hugged Yibai and took a sip in his face. "Oh yes, I haven't asked what the energy of this ring is for. How do I charge it if it is not powered?" Jessica thought of this question and asked. Yibai took some etheric matter from the 7th dimension, casually refined it into a glass bead-sized Philosopher's Stone, and introduced her. "This is the Philosopher's Stone, the legendary elixir, and also the energy of the Wishing Stone, the Sage's Ring." Jessica opened her mouth wide, mainly startled by the 3 words of the elixir. At this time an alarm came from the small spaceship they were riding on, which attracted the attention of the two. They ran to the main console of the spacecraft, and saw that the screen showed that a spaceship was hanging behind them from a distance, neither overtaking nor approaching, and had not yet sent a contact communication. Yibai operated a few times on the spaceship, called up the monitoring, and looked at the appearance of the spaceship. This shape, this volume, this shape, should it be Krypton's Black Mist Fortress prison? Using the ability to observe in a higher dimension, he really saw General Zod, Adjutant Fiora, and a dozen Kryptonians with big cats and kittens in that spaceship. Looking at it, it seems to have bad intentions. Yi, what should we do? Shake off that ship or stop and make contact? Jessica is still facing this kind of thing for the first time, obviously has little experience in dealing with it, and looks a little overwhelmed. Yi Bai rolled his eyes and said with a smile, "You relax, I'll borrow your body." Oh. Jessica nodded obediently. Yi Bai's soul drilled into Jessica's body, consciousness connected to the pocket dimensional space, and said in Carla's ear, "Borrow your ability." At this time, Kara was on the shared chair, controlling the stand-in to go to school at school, and after hearing Yi Bai's words, Kara let the original consciousness of her avatar itself temporarily control the body, and she shared her ability and physique with Yi Bai through the sharing chair. Jessica suddenly felt that her body had become different, and she had endless strength, as if she could collapse a building with one punch. What the eyes see and what the ears hear are different, which is the result of the combination of supervision and superhearing. There is no doubt that Jessica Cruz at this moment was temporarily humanized by Krypton, and it is still the level of the yellow sun that has been basking for more than 30 years. Yi Bai took over the control of the spaceship and used the Sage's ring to turn the green light current spaceship into a real spaceship. Under his control, the spacecraft slowly slowed down and finally stopped in the cosmic void. The black mist fortress hanging behind seemed to hesitate for a moment, and then slowly approached. The black mist fortress approached Yi Bai's spaceship, and this distance was already visible to the naked eye. In the end, it slowly stopped and stopped next to Yi Bai's spaceship, facing the hull on this side, cracking a landing port, as if inviting him to log in. Yi Bai was bold and controlled the spaceship to fly towards the landing module of the Black Mist Fortress. Through an energy shield that isolated internal and external air pressure, Yi Bai's spaceship landed in the landing module. Here, General Zod, Fiora, and a group of dragon suits wearing pitch-black power armor, fully armed, are waiting here. Yi Bai controlled Jessica's body, her body flashed, and the green light uniform on her body changed to that of a Supergirl, blue chest wrap, blue short skirt, red boots, a red cape, and an S symbol of hope in the L family on her chest. The hatch opened, and Yi Bai stepped down from the spaceship. When the Kryptonians saw the mark on the chest of the woman who stepped down from the small spaceship, they were all stunned. The L family is not an unknown family on Krypton. Superman's daddy Joe Al is the chief scientist of the Kryptonian civilization and the first person in black technology. Superman's wife, Lara Raulvan, is one of the members of the Supreme Council of Krypton. Superman's uncle Zoe Air, who is also the premier scientist of Krypton, and Superman's Aunt Aurora, she is the Lord of Krypton. By the way, Zoe-El and Alora are Carla's parents. Zoe-El is the biological brother of Superman's father, Joe Air. The symbol on Yi Bai's chest at this time is the family glow of the Al family, and as a Kryptonian, no one does not know what this family glow means. General Zod opened his mouth and asked uncertainly in Kryptonian language, "Are you Zoe Air's child?" I remember it was Carla. Apparently, she mistook Jessica for Kara. No way, who let her dress like this? I'm Carla Zoel. Yi Bai used the translation function of the lamp ring, and opened his mouth to speak the Kryptonian language with a round voice, and said more standard than the Kryptonian natives, "I remember you. Before the explosion of Krypton, you and my uncle General Norn set off a coup d'etat." General Norn was the husband of Astra, the sister of Kara's mother Alora, and had a one rank below General Zord. After the failed coup, he became political prisoners with Zod and others, but the place where Noan and Astra were imprisoned was not the Black Mist Fortress, but the Rhodes Fortress, where there were mostly criminals, but not many political prisoners. Episode 50. It was not our intention to start a coup revolution. Our purpose is to save more people, not to accompany Krypton to martyrdom. Your parents may not have told you that the Council had long ago detected an abnormal increase in the entropy of Krypton, which was about to explode. They hid this from the public. We could have built more ships to escape Krypton during that time, but look at the end. How many of our compatriots are left? General Zod, who discovered that the person who came out of the small spaceship was the daughter of Zoe Air, gave up his plan to seize the other party's spaceship. Now that Krypton is destroyed, there are not many Kryptonians, and every Kryptonian is a precious resource. To the Kryptonians, General Zod is not a villain, but a hero. He will not strike at his compatriots unless necessary. In the original time and space, he found Joe Al's child Kal Air, Clark Kent's Krypton name, and also tried to persuade the other party to join. If it were not for Superman's firm side of humanity, General Zod would not regard him as an enemy. Now, in the face of Zor's daughter, General Zod naturally does not discriminate and mainly wins over. It can be said that if you don't look at it from a human point of view, this iron-blooded general is a very charismatic guy. Are you looking for a new home? Yi Bai asked them. Yes, but before that, we need to find your cousin Kal-El. The central treasure is with him, and you may know where he is. Yi Bai controlled Jessica's body and shook his head, and lied without changing his face. I was also looking for my cousin recently, but I never found it. Also, my uncle once told me that we Kryptonians are on the wrong path, and that the path of cultivating offspring by relying on the central treasure book will not work. It's not right to be born with talent and destiny. Only by going with the flow can the child born of pregnancy and childbirth have a future. Unlike in the movie, General Zod has men and women here, with similar male and female ratios, and if they reproduce in pairs, the Kryptonian civilization may not be able to reopen its branches. Although the speed is a little slower, it is much safer than the Earth where you break into the long-tan tiger's den. Whether it is Marvel or DC, the Earth is the most dangerous and high-energy place in the universe. Which one has a good end to invading the Earth throughout the ages? Even if the invincible General Zod and the others were not completely destroyed in the end. The comic is set better. Fiora survived, and Fiora, who basked in the yellow sun, relied on her powerful martial arts to press Superman to the ground and call her mother. Fiora and Superman, just like the big cousin Terra in the New 52 period facing Superman, are both levels that can press Superman classmates to rub on the ground, especially if Terra is not afraid of kryptonite and has no obvious weakness. Child, you are still young, and there are many things that you do not understand. General Zod tried to convince her again. Jessica's consciousness is in a state of confusion at this time. Is he recognized by the wrong person? Who is Carla Zoe? Who is Carl Air again? What is the central treasure? Why can't they understand a word of the content they communicate? At this time, Jessica suddenly heard a third voice in her mind besides her and Yi, will they invade the Earth? Who are you? My inner monologue? Jessica asked in her heart. I'm Carla Zoe. Carla said, huh? Hey. Do I have a second personality named Carla? Am I not born to my parents, but actually a Kryptonian? Jessica began to doubt life. Carla, this girl's brain circuit is really amazing. There is such an unreliable association. Simply, no, I'm not your second personality. I'm Kryptonian Carla Zoe, and your Earthman Jessica Cruz. Carla was speechless to explain. Since you are not me, then how do you know my name? Listen to the tone, and you still know me well? Jessica was puzzled. I don't know if it was Kara's prank, she actually said. Actually, I am Ye's female personality. Jessica, can we not make this joke? Natasha used to embarrass him all day by playing like this, and now he actually comes? It turns out that Ye still has a female personality. Jessica was confused. Kara, since they want to find your cousin, they will inevitably find the Earth. Judging from General Zod's iron-blooded style, they will definitely transform the Earth into a second Krypton, and then human beings will definitely not be able to adapt to the 10 times gravity of Krypton and the new ecological environment. So we must be here as your identity to persuade them to give up looking for your eldest cousin. In order to avoid Kara adding strange settings to herself, Yi decisively pulled the topic back. Yes, I like the Earth very much. It is already my home. I think my eldest cousin is the same. We can't let them invade the Earth. Yi, you fool them in my name. I'm sticking with you. Kara said. With the support of Kara, the righteous Lord, Yi pretended to be more confident. This is the confidence that the Lord will not expose you. At this moment, the Supergirl, Green Lantern Woman, and Yi are together. He is not fighting alone. He is not. With the luck of the two protagonist heroes deepening, Yi felt that he was invincible in the world. The mouth beard above. Don't take it seriously. If you want to find an ecological planet, I have coordinates here. It is a planet that has no intelligence, has not been discovered by any aliens, and is not too far from here. I can give you the coordinates there. Yi said to General Zod and others. After hearing this, the Kryptonians' eyes lit up. Show me the coordinates. General Zod couldn't wait. Yi raised his hand, used the projection function of the green light ring, combined with the main star database of Europe and Asia, to call up a star map within 10,000 light years. Among them, about 5,000 light years away from the current position, there is a star system that is highlighted. Yi pointed to the highlighted star system and said, this is here. This star system has 7 planets, the second of which is not far from the sun, just suitable for life. There are some primitive beasts inhabiting it, and the ocean accounts for 60%. The remaining planets, 3 rocky and 3 gaseous, are rich in resources and definitely suitable for us to start over with Krypton. He didn't say a word. The area where this star system is located in Sector 2814, which belongs to the scope of Jessica, the Green Lantern, and when General Zod and others stay there, Jessica can stare at the point, lest these Kryptonian people can't think about it, and run to the long-tan tiger's den on Earth to die.